The 2-1. Lindor towards right center field. This one is back. It is gone! Grand slam! And Lindor puts the Mets on top. The biggest swing of the season for New York.
3-second differential. Shot clock, game clock. Shot clock down to 5. Here's Towns from 3. It's gone! Karl Anthony Towns with the dagger. 3-point field goal.
Knicks regain their composure. Towns, deep 3-ball with the switch.
What up, Knicks Nation? What up? It is your boy David from Top Bunk Sports, and I am here with my second Knicks post-game video. Tonight, we took on the New Orleans Pelicans, and from the jump, I mean, the Pelicans are missing all their stars. Brandon Ingram's out. Zion Williamson is out. They've been dealing with injuries. This is why their record is what it is. They only got five wins on the season so far. Right, I think they got 32, if I'm not mistaken, 32 or 26 losses around one of those numbers. But they are where they are for a reason. Guys are not healthy. They don't have their stars, but they had this young core, man, that was led by DeJounte Murray. That even Trey Murphy was going off today, but that young core gave it to the Knicks. Willie Green had them boys ready today to play. This team has not won a lot of games. I think they were on a 3-game losing streak, if I'm not mistaken. They've been trying to find their identity, and this is a good game for the young stars to be like, yo, let's go show what we got. This is a Knicks team right now that's 17-10 coming in here, and they're third in the East, and they're a really good team, man. Let's go prove something, right? We're not going anywhere this year, so let's play every game like it was a playoff game. And for the most part, they did, man. They at one point had us defensively, creating turnovers, making early stops. They switched zone on us. In the beginning of the game, they were playing man. Some point within the end of the first quarter, going into the second, they switched into zone, and the Knicks couldn't adjust. I mean, the Knicks, ball movement really wasn't there in the first half. Like, it was nasty. It took Jalen Brunson in the third quarter to kind of get everything started, and they ended up getting, into the whole groove of things in the third quarter after they were down 14. They were down 14, and that was it. Jalen Brunson took off. The offense was there. It just kept going. They were able to move the ball a little bit better, and that's the thing about this Knicks team is that when you're able to move the ball in a consistent rate, guys will be open. Guys will make shots. Mikal Bridges in the corner. OG Anunoby in the corner. Guys setting early picks, fighting through it, right? So you got a guy that's setting you a pick, run straight past it. There you go. Move the ball, kick out to the corner if you got a defender in front of you. If not, that's an easy floater. Like this team can find success within ball movement. By the way, y'all see a signature on this hat. That's John Starks. Shout out to the GOAT. But anyways, they will find success within ball movement. They will be able to play off each other, and that's kind of what you see not only with this team, but what you saw tonight in the second half. They picked it up not only defensively but offensively. They were able to ride the momentum of Jalen Brunson. So when you're able to ride the momentum of Jalen Brunson and kind of really like focus on what he's doing, he's your captain, of course, but he was hot. He was getting hot. He had like 13 points in the third quarter. Like, he was just going off. He had made like 4 threes in the third quarter. Like, they couldn't stop that man. So when you see that your teammate, which is your captain, by the way, your main guy, he's going off, yo, follow him. If they start double teaming him, yo, be ready, because that's a wide open man anywhere else. Jalen Brunson's at the top of the key. He's getting double teamed. That's a guy open in the corner right there. So you know what I'm saying? Because what happens is you got a guy that's open in the wing. The ball goes to the guy in the wing. Got 2 options. The defender that's guarding the guy in the corner, he's gonna try to come and play up. That leaves the guy wide open in the corner. So that guy's either gonna cut to the basket, or if you receive the ball in the wing, whether it's the left wing or the right wing, and you got that ball. If that defender doesn't cover, he comes late. You got a easy access to go straight to the paint. Now, there is when you make the decision. You get to the paint, and then you can either go up, right, pump fake, try to make the defender jump, you create a foul, or you go in with a floater, or you go into the middle and then you pass out on your left side. You know what I'm saying? Like, there so many options when that double team comes. And that's, Jalen Brunson, obviously they weren't double teaming him that much. In certain occasions they were, but not that much. But when he wasn't double team, he took advantage of it. He took advantage of it. He was able to score. And I think that was the key. That was the key to that. But this Pelicans team, man, they're not to be slept on. When you're talking about tonight's game, they gave it to the Knicks on both ends. They were running the pace. They were dribbling the ball up the floor with a quickness. They were able to really push the pace, and the Knicks just couldn't stop it. And there were multiple timeouts that Tibbs had to call, especially in that second quarter, where you're just sitting there, you're like, yo, I wonder what the fuck he's telling them, because defensively we look horrible in that first half. It was disgusting, but they were able to clean it up. They were able to get some momentum going, and that's what you want to see, especially when you're playing a game that's not in your forte right in that moment. You want to be able to make adjustments. I think that was my biggest thing with Tom Thibodeau as a coach for the New York Knicks. If you're not able to make adjustments in certain games or in the playoffs, we're not going to win with you as our head coach. Everybody keeps talking about, Tom Thibodeau is one of the legendary coaches. Tom Thibodeau, he knows what he's doing. At the end of the day, that's fine and all and dandy. What he did with Chicago, that's cool. That's cool. He didn't want to chip with them though. I don't care what he did with Minnesota. I don't care what he did with Chicago. He didn't want to chip. Mind you, he was an assistant coach in Orlando. They didn't want to chip. They got to the finals. They didn't want to chip. He has not won a chip as a coach. So that experience speaks. I get it, but we're talking about right now, and there are certain things that we're seeing there. It's like, in 2023 in the playoffs, he made no adjustments. 2024 against the Indiana Pacers in the second round of the playoffs, his adjustment game was horrible. So, and I get that injuries played a part in it. There were little things that you could have seen on the court during that playoff run, in especially in the second round against Indiana, where you're like, yo, if he made this adjustment, it probably could have worked. You know what I'm saying? So that's where my thing with Tibbs always goes. I think this year he's kind of made I think when it comes to adjustments, he's made it a little bit better. So that doesn't play too much of a negative factor within the team, but there's still things that he still needs to work on. And I think defensively, we are much better. We are much better offensively than defensively. That's one of the things that I think this team does need to clean up, is that they got to get to it defensively in a much faster pace. There are games like that game against Minnesota where they just picked it up defensively. They were not playing. And you're talking about one of the top teams in the Western Conference when it comes to defense. They were not playing. They gave it to them. So it's an up and down situation when it comes to the Knicks and defense. But I think if you get it consistently, you'll be able to really fix that, and you'll be able to get into a more serious situation where you don't really have to worry about them playing horrible on both ends of the court. There are going to be times where you're going to see that you're going to see that situation where they might not have it offensively, but defensively they're there. They might not have it defensively, but offensively they're there. So it just depends on the night that they have. But overall, they just got to be a little bit more better on defense, and find that consistency to where they can go ahead and say, yo, like, not now, we got it. And I think that can definitely happen going into January and then coming out of All-Star break in February, because once you get out of the All-Star break, that's when shit gets serious, because now you're trying to lock down your spot in the Eastern Conference and really trying to make that get into the playoffs, which this team will make the playoffs this year. And it's going to be interesting because now you have Cat. You're not going into the playoffs with a guy like Julius Randle who can't score in the playoffs. This is a guy, Cat. Yes, he's not a great playoff performer either, but he has shown stints to where he can take over at times in the playoffs and really score the basketball. So especially now where like everything is coming to him. I know today he didn't really have a good game, but since he's been here, he's been a fucking monster. We talk about top 5 in MVP conversations. There you go. So you're able to create that. You're able to do that. You have more spacing. Everything is better with Cat on that floor. That's why it was so important for him to be here. That's why this acquisition was so big, because there are a lot of things that Cat does that Julius Randle does not do. Julius Randle's not a better defender. Julius Randle does not space the floor well. You know what I'm saying? Julius Randle is a very selfish player. Love the guy. I said that in my last video. Said that in the video that I posted yesterday. Love the guy. But, we got to call a spade a spade. Cat does a lot more than what Julius Randle does, and you're seeing it here. I don't think we would have had a lot of success with what we're seeing with Cat if Julius Randle was here. I'm just being real, but I'm gonna get to some stats real quick, just so kind of cap off the game. In terms of field goal, the Knicks shot 43.7%. Excuse me. The New Orleans Pelicans shot 41.0%. The Knicks shot way more free throws than New Orleans. The Knicks shot 86, shot 13 of 15, 86%. And the New Orleans Pelicans shot 13 of 19. So, excuse me, the percentage was high. The percentage was high, but they both shot the same amount of free throws. They made the same amount of free throws, but the New Orleans Pelicans shot more than what the Knicks did. The Knicks shot 15 and only made 13. The New Orleans Pelicans shot 19 and only made 13. So you have that. In terms of, like I said, the field goal, it was 43.7% for the Knicks. They shot 38 out of 87. New Orleans Pelicans were 41.0. They shot 34 out of 83. Right. So you go total rebounds. The Knicks obviously got out rebounded by the Pelicans 45-42. Steals, the Knicks had more, 8-11. They had offensive rebounds. The Knicks were out rebound by one offensively. It was 16-15 points off turnovers. The New Orleans Pelicans, obviously, based on what they did in that first half, had more points off turnovers than the Knicks. The New Orleans Pelicans had 23. The Knicks had 19. Then you go to the three-point shooting. They shot 15 of 37, which was 40.5%. New Orleans shot 12 of 34, which is 35.3. Assists. The Knicks had more assists. They were up by 1 in assists. Knicks had 24. New Orleans Pelicans had 23. Fast break points. They were both tied, 15 and 15. Blocks. New Orleans Pelicans are up by 2. They had 5. Knicks had 3. Defensive rebounds. The Knicks were down by 2. New Orleans Pelicans had 29. The Knicks had 27. So you have that. Top performers, obviously, Jalen Brunson, 39 points, 6 assists, 1 rebound. And for the Pelicans, it was Trey Murphy III, 26 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists. Jalen Brunson, again, you're gonna have nights with Jalen Brunson where he's taking over the game. That's gonna happen within the season. You're gonna have that, and it's just him being able, the thing. And shout out to Monica McNutt, who said this on MSG in their post game a couple of minutes ago. She basically said that you're not looking for Brunson to really score the basketball like that this year, like you were expecting him to do it last year. You don't really need him to score that crazy, because you have somebody in Karl-Anthony Towns that's going to get you a bucket, whether it's from behind the perimeter or whether it's getting to the rim. You got guys like Mikal Bridges, who is a mid-range sniper, but is also going to shoot the 3, right? You have Josh Hart. Josh Hart is more of a facilitator, but when he wants to get a bucket, he's gonna drive in. He's gonna get yourself a layup, or he's gonna wait till the shot clock goes off and then try to get a bucket. So guys are scoring, and let me not forget OG Anunoby, who is not only the best defender on the team, but can shoot the 3 from the wing, from the corner, and is going to post up and drive, give you a fadeaway. Like, there's so many lethal scorers on this team that you should not be upset if Jalen Brunson says, yo, I'm going to just give you out 20 points, or I'm going to just go 18 points, and we still get a win. Still get a win. Jalen Brunson, his scoring matters, but I think what's more important for Jalen Brunson this year is the way he's facilitating the basketball. If Jalen Brunson is facilitating the basketball at a high pace, getting guys open in different spots, you're easily going to win. Now, yes, it matters if those guys that he's getting open and creating shots for them, if they make it, obviously. But most, a lot of the times they are. So if Jalen Brunson's having a bad night, he's shooting 5 of 12 from the field, right? He's only made like 1 3-pointer out of 7. Let's say that, right? And he only has like what, like 16 points, 15 points or whatever. His facilitating is what I'm gonna look at. He's having an off night. Cool. It's gonna happen. But how he's dishing the rock, how he's talking to his guys on the court on both sides of the ball, how he's getting guys in their spots where he's telling guys to go. You know what I'm saying? Talking to guys while guys are moving and not standing. That to me is important. When Jalen Brunson goes off and has a game like he had tonight where he's scoring 39 points and he's putting the team on his back, I don't care about the facilitating, because at the end of the day, the guys are going to get the rock and they're going to follow his momentum, whether he's only facilitating the ball and he's not scoring, or he's going out there and he's scoring and he's putting everybody else on his back and he's controlling the pace, he's controlling the game. That's the good thing. That's the great thing about Jalen Brunson. That's what makes Jalen Brunson so special, is that you don't, especially with this team now on who we have, you didn't need to worry about them. Last year is a different story, because last year, even though Julius Randle was scoring the basketball at a high rate last year and the year prior to that, right, the 2 years that Jalen Brunson was playing with him, you didn't know when that Julius Randle was gonna come out. And I hate making this about Julius Randle. I hate putting like a negative stamp on Julius Randle. I know that's the way it sounds. It's not it, but it was. You see how Cat and Jalen Brunson started, where if Brunson went off, Cat wasn't there. Like he had an off night. If Jalen Brunson was, if Jalen Brunson wasn't, if Cat was going off, Jalen Brunson wasn't there. If Brunson was going off, Cat wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? Like you had that at certain times with Randle and Brunson, and then you had the times where they both scored in double digits. You had Randle had like 25, Jalen Brunson had like 28. Like guys were going off, and we would get the win. But you know what I'm saying? But that's what they needed to be successful. Randle having 40 plus and Jalen Brunson not doing anything, it really wasn't a success for the Knicks within the first 2 years that Brunson and Randle were together. Here, it's like, that even if Jalen Brunson only has 10 points the entire game and he's having a bad shooting night, you know what I'm saying? He can't really score at the rack. It's not an issue, because Cat is on a momentum. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got OG Anunoby, who's probably going to score maybe 30 points one game or whatever if Jalen Brunson is not going off. But Mikal Bridges is the same thing. You got pieces here that you can rely to score the rock. Who's gonna put the ball on the floor and go give me a bucket? You have guys in your starting lineup that's gonna do that. Hell, guys off the bench. Deuce McBride. The Deuce McBride is another special cat that I don't think the Knicks want to trade at all. The reason why I say that is because his game has developed the past 2 years to the point where he's going in. Whether he starts or whether he's coming off the bench, he's getting a bucket and he's gonna make that. The confidence is up there. This kid is not even turning all over the ball like that. Staying firm with the ball, going to his spots, moving the ball open, not afraid to, not hesitating. When he first came into the league, he was hesitating a lot. And you would say to yourself, like, yo, just shoot it, kid. Like, this is your moment. Now he's getting more minutes to play. Tibbs likes him, and you see the way he shoots. He just lets that thing go. Contested or not, like, you just see the confidence in this kid. So we got guys that could score the fucking rack, that could score the ball. So that's the beauty of this team, but it's also the beauty of Jalen Brunson, where if he doesn't have this type of performance like you see here, you don't really have to worry, because you got guys that are gonna bail him out and they're gonna score and go get you a bucket, whether it results in a win or results in a loss. Now, if it gets to a point where Jalen Brunson, that's his consistency, where he doesn't score a lot and he's having bad nights, it's a little bit of a concern, because how long is this gonna last going into the playoffs? You see what I'm saying? How long is that gonna last getting into the playoffs? How long where is the consistency going to build back up? So, that to me matters the most. And I think at the end of the day, you're going into this year with a mindset of, yo, we're trying to win the chip again for the third straight year, with Jalen Brunson as our captain, as our leader, and Karl-Anthony Towns as our big man, but other star player who, again, is playing at a, like I said, top at MVP level. He's out of his fucking mind now. The Knicks are now 13-4 in their last 17 games. So they've been playing really, really exceptional basketball. This is the best that we've seen the Knicks in a while. I mean, again, everybody was wondering, like, when were they gonna start exploding, and this is what it is. This is what it is. The chemistry is there. The chemistry is there because that the conversation was that, yo, where's the chemistry gonna build from? What are we, where are we gonna get this? Where are we gonna how are Cat and Jalen Brunson going to connect? How is Mikal Bridges going to connect with these guys? I mean, before it was Mikal Bridges, it was Dante DiVincenzo. Dante DiVincenzo was a question mark, because if Mikal Bridges was going to be here, it was going to be one of those things where it's like, okay, Dante's coming off the bench. Dante had already said in an interview that he didn't want to come off the bench. Look what he's doing in Minnesota. You know what I'm saying? So it's like Mikal Bridges, you were going to have to start him because of not only the type of player that he is, but what you gave up for him. That's, you automatically got to put him back in. Unless if he's that bad, like I'm talking about last year, RJ bad, right? To the point where you have to have him come off the bench, then Dante would have been in there. And I don't think Dante would have had this big of a struggle like he's having now in Minnesota. So, Tibbs would have had that option, but I think Mikal had every right to start. Dante didn't like that. That had already came out, but I don't think that was the reason why they traded him. I think it got to a point where the Mitchell Robinson shit hurt them, because now you're missing your rim protector, your best rebounder, your best blocker. And like I said in my last video, they had Karl-Anthony Towns that was their guy. That was their choice. He's been rumored for that the Knicks have liked them for so long, and they had an opportunity like, yo, we need to go get ourselves a fucking center right now, or we're not going to be the same team that we were. Precious Achiuwa was still hurt, and even if he wasn't hurt, I think Precious Achiuwa is good, but I don't think he's Mitchell Robinson type of level, or Karl-Anthony Towns for that matter. They got their all-star, and they said, listen, we're not going to – I don't think they would have paid Randall, like I said, unless he would have gone off for the playoffs this year. Then they probably maybe would have given him an extension. But I don't think they were going to pay him. And they were like, listen, if y'all want Dante, if that's what it takes, just take him. We got Mikal. Like, just take him. We'll take a hit on, a 3-point shooting that Dante gives us. And obviously the off-ball movements that he does, that it's key a lot. That was key last year. But you got, I always live by this code. You got to give up. You got to give up big. You got to give up big to get big, and that's what they did, and it's working, man. Before I end it here, I just want to show you guys the Knicks schedule coming up and what this kind of means. So I will put that up right here. So if you see here, right, you got the San Antonio. Well, you got the Toronto Raptors. Now, obviously, Toronto is probably coming for a revenge after how we beat them, right? Karl-Anthony Towns kind of ending that game with a 3 at the wing and stuff like that. Like, that's a revenge game. But then this game right here, which I might be going to, I don't know for sure. This is the first time they see San Antonio this year. And Chris Paul's on that team, Wemby's on the team. The last time Wemby was here was last year around November, and he only scored 14 points. He had a bad game. We took the Spurs out. We took them down. And then you look at the schedule for the rest of December. You got Orlando, who, again, is probably going to be another tough one. That's another tough one right there, because they play the Knicks very streaky, very hard with the size that they have. And then you got back-to-back in Washington, which I'm expecting to take a revenge game against Utah, where Utah's coming here. We lost to them in Utah. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was last month. Yeah, last month. Then this one right here, I'm circling this one, January 3rd, and then I then I'll go down to when they come, because it's not that far. January 3rd is iHeart's first game against the Knicks since he signed with Oklahoma City, and that Oklahoma City team right now is number 1 in the West. They got a bunch of wings on that team, dude, and guys that can shoot, and they play defense like a team, dude. That's a tough OKC team that the Knicks are going to have a problem with. So it's going to be interesting to see how that game plays out. I'm ready for that game. And then obviously they come back over here, and it's iHeart's first game back in the Garden since he signed with OKC. So whoever wins the first matchup is definitely going to be looking for a revenge type of game, in game 2. So, the rest of the schedule is not that bad. Obviously, the main ones that I think the team, a lot of the fans are waiting for is Philadelphia, And then we go all the way to February 8th where they play Boston, and February 11th where they play Indiana. So those games are very kind of I would say they're like revenge games in a way, but big games because of the rivalry with everything in the division game. So those are the important games for me in the schedule. But yeah, hopefully we go in on Monday and we take the brakes off the Raptors like we did over there in Canada, because that Raptors team is looking for revenge and they're looking to play hungry. It's RJ's return back to MSG, so he's definitely going to get a good reception. But hopefully we take another one from Toronto. But with that being said, this is your Knicks New York City basketball post game. And yeah, man, it's the second of many to come, and I can't wait. Hopefully, I get to do more videos like this Knicks content videos for you guys, and hopefully I get to do some watch party lives with you guys. So hopefully, let's expand this and let's support this one by one. But I appreciate you guys, man. Y'all have a good night. Happy Saturday to all, and I will see you guys on the next video. Peace.